What's going on, guys? So today we're doing another coin hunt. I'll tell you the quick backstory here. These are all half dollars or Kennedy half dollars. I had gone to a little hole-in-the-wall bank nowhere near my house. I just decided to walk in there one day recently and ask if they had any cases of quarters, because I wanted to go through some quarters. And I figured, maybe the smaller bank, people don't really go through them, as much as the larger banks. Obviously, when there's more people, there's more of a chance that someone out there in the area visits these banks and are doing exactly what I'm doing, looking for different types of coins. So I walked in there. I was a sweet old lady behind the counter, and she said, "No, we're too small of a bank. We don't have cases." Like, she didn't really understand what I was explaining at first, and I told her like a full case of 50 rolls of quarters. She's like, "Oh no, we just have a couple of loose quarters." And I'm like, okay. And I happened to ask if they had half dollars. And she said, let me check. And she asked someone else, and she came back and said, "Yes, we do. How much do you want? Like 2 rolls or 3 rolls?" And I said, "Well, how many do you have?" And she said, "We have probably $300 worth." So I said, I'll take them. I'll take them all. So then she talked to her, I guess, manager, and they asked if I had a bank account there. And I did not. It was some random bank. So they said, "All right, well, we like to keep these, for our customers if they want them, but we can give you some." I said, "Well, how much can you give me?" And they said, "We'll give you $100 worth of rolls." All right, they're $10 rolls. So going through those rolls, which I did off camera, I think I might have posted it on Instagram, I actually found some silver. I found these 7 40% Kennedy halves. All right, so that was a huge find. For $100 worth of halves to find 7 40% coins was really exciting for me. All right, so 1965 to 1970 is 40% pure silver. What was interesting with these rolls is that they were in the same exact rolls these are. In fact, it's probably from the same person. And I want to say like 4 of the rolls were dated. Okay, so they actually, like, one said 1976. And the whole roll was actually, bicentennial 1976 Kennedy halves. Then another one was like all 1975. And then like 79, like random, right? There's 4 or 5 that were like that. And when I first saw them, when she was, handing them to me, I'm like, oh man, someone already ran through this. There's not gonna be any silver. So I was super excited when I actually found silver. So long story short, I drove all the way back out to that bank to get the rest of them. And I had to open a savings account to do so. So I randomly opened a bank account at this place just so I could be a customer, just so I can get the rest of these half dollars. All right. So I have $180 worth here. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 rolls of half dollars. Now I'm not going to open them all on camera here because I like to kind of sit back, put on some Sopranos or something in the background. We're going through all the Sopranos episodes again. Actually on the last season now. I probably watched the show, like the full show, I don't know, 5 or 6 times in my life. I remember way back in the day when they were new episodes, me and my family, we literally sit down as a family and watch Sopranos. So, it's a Jersey thing, I guess. But anyway, so I like to just kind of relax. I'll open these with Christina. And the second part of this video will be what I found or didn't find. But I'm very excited to look through because I've confirmed finding silver in these. They're the exact same wrappers. None of these are dated like the other ones were. There's no way to verify. I mean, these are common wrappers. They could be completely a coincidence, and it could be someone else's. This could have been from a bank. It could have been from someone like me who went through them. There might be not, a bit of silver in here. But I'm very excited to look. So I figured I'd do another one of these hunts and do this first part of the video before I actually go through them. And then right now, I'll switch over to show you what I found, or again, didn't find. All right, I'm back. And we looked through all the coins. And we did find a couple things. One silver coin, which is a 1968 40% silver, which is pretty exciting. This actually came in the very last roll. So I really thought there was no silver at all, and the very last roll proved me wrong. So that was very exciting. All right, it's one of those things, if you go through a bunch of coins and you spend a long time doing it, you don't find anything at all that's exciting, it feels like you wasted your time, and maybe you have. Even if you find one, maybe you feel like you wasted your time. But as long as I find something I'm excited about, the whole process, and knock on wood, I have yet to go through a case of coins or a bunch of coins at once and not find something that was interesting or something that I learned. And in this particular case, I found out something that I didn't know about, and I wanted to share with you guys. That's this coin right here. So when I looked at this coin, this is a 1985. All right, you can see it's quite dark on the surface. When I flipped it over, I saw this big old dent. Now, I thought this was a dent. Going through the roll, I had some coins in front, you know, looking through, and I saw this. Now, I expected, when I was flipping this over, to find a dent on the other side, but I didn't. It's completely flat. So I'm like, well, how does that happen? You know, there's a bulge in the coin. I thought that's really unique. I've never seen anything like this before. So I took the time to look it up, and I learned all about this, all right? This is something that usually occurs, although there are exceptions. There are, you know, in some cases where you can have bulging coins and there are different types of errors. But this is more than likely from fire damage, all right? And because this coin happens to be very dark, I would conclude that, yes, this was probably in a fire. So what happens is with clad coins like this, if it heats up to the point where it's almost melting, it will actually soften the layers of metal and allow gas to expand. Obviously in heat, the gas is expanding, and it will literally blow bubbles in coins, all right? So this is literally a bulge, okay? So there's airspace underneath this because it's heated up in a house fire or wherever it was stored. It got to that almost melting point, created this bubble, but then either the fire was put out or it just didn't, you know, get closer to the coin. Whatever the case was, it cooled off and the outer layer had solidified in this shape. And the reason you could tell is because when, you know, coins are made, and you can watch videos on YouTube on how coins are made. If you don't understand, they start with these placets and they're basically just little blanks, and then you have, you know, a die on either side and it's pressed together with a lot of force, and that's what, you know, creates your actual coin, right? But you would never have like a bubble like this and the image raised on it. Okay, that's what would give you the story. Not only that, the fact that it's like, you know, almost black would tell you that this was in some kind of a fire, which is really fascinating. I've never seen that, a little blister on the coin. So super fascinating. So just in this little process, I learned that. That was interesting. It's not worth anything. It's just worth face value. You can still use it as a coin in America. It's worth 50 cents. There's no collectability in that for the obvious reason that if people started making them worth money, people would just throw a bunch of change in a fire and let them bubble up and then make money on it, right? So it's not worth anything, but it's an interesting lesson. And then last, although it's not silver, I have a whole roll here. I just took one out just to give you an example. There's all miscellaneous years, everything from, I think the oldest was 1972 maybe, all the way up to 2000. And these are just half dollars that are in superb condition. Probably, if they were circulated, barely circulated. All right, so let's zoom in on this one. Here's this one from 1996. There's actually a couple in this from 1996. You can see the ridges they're actually still sharp. All right, so this saw almost no circulation. It might have been uncirculated. These might have been parts of different types of sets. So many people out there, you know, get these collectible coins and all kinds of sets, and they're not really worth much. It's just there's a lot of marketing behind it, a lot of cool packaging, and people think they're worth something, so they buy them. And who knows, maybe they get broken and they just get circulated, you know, with all the rest of the coins. So yeah, there's no silver content in here, but I have a full roll of just really, really good condition Kennedy halves. So I'm just gonna, you know, keep those off to the side, just as something, just a little special, and a little bit of collectability there. It might be worth a little bit more than its 50-cent face value to, you know, coin collector, especially some of the older ones from the 70s and 80s and stuff. But that's pretty much it. So, you know, I learned about the whole fire damage thing, which is super, super interesting to me. You know, but at the end of the day, I did get one silver half dollar, which is exciting because that's going right into the collection. Not worth a whole lot, but like I said, the whole point of this for me mostly is collecting and finding silver and slowly stacking that silver. But, you know, learning about other collectible coins is fascinating along the way. When you're looking at half dollars, and you can, of course, you know, research yourself, there's a couple different things you can look for besides, obviously, you know, 65 to 70, 1965, 1966, 1967, 1968, 1969, 1970. Those are all 40% silver. 1964 and earlier are all 90% silver. That's the main thing people are plucking out of, you know, the coin circulation when they're looking for, you know, through coins. However, there are other collectible coins when it comes to Kennedy half dollars. 1972D, there's a no FG coin. So the FG is the artist of the coin's design. Let me show you in the back here. See how far we can zoom in. All right. Now this one's a little faded here. Actually, let's go ahead and use our good coin. Where is that? I put it back in the tube. Let me give you a nice shiny example of this. So on the bottom of the artwork, in between the tail and the foot, right above my finger right there, you see the FG. Those are the initials of the artist that designed the coin. So 1972 D mint mark. So we flip this over, a D mint mark. This happens to be a D as well. So you see the little D that's above the date and underneath the head there. All right, if you had that coin from 1972 without the FG, that'd be worth some money. As well as a 1982 P without the FG. Those are also worth money. You know, there's some other random coins. 1998, what is it? 1979 and 1981. If you have candy half dollars with the little S mint mark, those are from the San Francisco Mint, and those are silver. What else? 1974 D mint mark double die. So I don't have an example here because I've never found one before. But, you know, 1974, you get the D mint mark. If you look at the coin, there's certain things like the W for, you know, we trust. Let me zoom back in here. All right, the W, the end of the date for the 4, like 1974, the little arm. Let me see if I have a 4. I'll give you an example here. There we go. So this little bracket, so you come up, over, and then when you come this way, this would be a little extended, the little W, the corner right side of the T, those all have like little extra marks. It's just a double die. It's just an error coin. Those are worth some money too. And I'm sure there's some other stuff I don't even know about. But those are the things I happen to be looking for as well. So when I'm opening these, I go through them all. Okay, there's no silver. Then I go back. I'm looking for these key dates because those might be worth a couple bucks or even more. Just depends on what you find. Of course, anything that's an error, you know, some of the silver candy half dollars are very collectible. Like there's one that has, I don't know, there's like extra hair detail or something, you know, and I think there's another one with like a 64 without the FG. Just, you know, there's a bunch of different things that coin collectors are looking for or put value on. But, you know, mostly it's for the silver, and that's what's most exciting. And again, you know, just learn about the fire damage thing. I mean, that's totally cool. I think this is pretty neat. Like I said, I mean, it doesn't have any extra value, but when I looked at that, I'm like, oh, there's a little bubble in there. Must have been dented. And you flip it over to see the indent, and it doesn't exist. All right, that's just trapped air. Obviously, the gas expanded, and then it cooled off, and it stayed in that position. So although there's no extra value there, it's just kind of neat. Like I said, I learned something, and that was totally worth my time. So that's all for now. This was my half dollar hunt here in December 2021. If you guys do any coin hunting, let me know down in the comment section. What's the coolest thing you've ever found? For me, just silver. I love my silver. I'm starting to look at some of the collectible coins. The V75 W quarters are pretty cool when I find those. I've only found 2 so far, and they're both the same ones. But they're pretty interesting too. You know, like I said, I really had such a focus for silver, but the more I do this, the more I learn. I'm actually looking to get maybe some coin collecting books and learn about other collectible coins. It's just kind of fun. You know what I mean? The whole thing's really fun. It doesn't just have to be about precious metals. I'm expanding a little bit into just coin collecting in general. It's just a fun hobby. So another hobby, like I need that. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.